horse drifted alarmingly in the betting was, Fencer in the morning continued to drift. It was late on the exchanges to lose. It was something you'd see in a Dick Francis novel, Charles Buttons.
The ground is soft. It's
heavy.
It's soft on times.
It's heavy.
Okay.
Hello and welcome to yet another Bar Steward's Sunday sermon. Yes, and it's the start of the flat. So we're actually bouncing for once. We've managed to tip some winners on our Patreon site. It's funny that, isn't it? Flat starts and we start pinging. So get your money out and start supporting us on that. We need it. We're all skint after the bad winter.
Right. Yeah.
Joining me, as always, to shoot the fat on day one of the 2025 turf season is my good pal Jonas Lang and Chris Lawn-Malvo. Good evening, gentlemen.
Good evening.
Hello, Rob.
Okay, first things first. We're back to the old review slot. I don't think we had one last week. We just didn't bother.
No, it's funny.
All these mares' hurdles and shit like that.
Fat chasers.
Yeah, I'm going to pick your brains. ITV's coverage today, did you see much of it?
I didn't, to be honest. I was wanting out quite a lot of paddock shots and things, and while I know ITV were doing the paddock at Doncaster, I wanted a bit more than what you would have gotten on there, so I didn't see a right lot of it. I understand Adele was puppy walking Ken through it and giving him an idea what to look for and everything.
I thought she was class. I made a point of listening to her comments in Brocklesby and all the races, really, because she'd have more clue than I would in terms of fitness and coats and everything else. And I thought she was outstanding. It was a pleasure to have her back and listening, because I think her expertise is one of the best that we see on our screens, John.
She's very, very good, no question. Much better than Ken.
Yeah.
Favourite looks well.
Yeah, exactly. Is that Ken?
Yeah.
Chris, you'd be like him because you just love a fav, a well-bet fav, and then you'd say it looks outstanding.
Yeah, fucking glistening in its coat, ready to go to war. That's what we want. 11th to 10th to fucking 4 to 7, that'll do, won't it?
Yeah.
Beat a nose, yeah.
Going through the action then this afternoon, there were 3 meetings really that were probably worth just a close eye on, which were Kempton, Doncaster, of course, and a race at the Curragh. So I think at the Curragh, John, today, because you like following the Irish for future paddock notes, etc., etc.
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
Anything caught your eye there today on what was largely a front-end day?
I actually mentioned this in the questions thread this morning. The JP McManus horse, A Dream to Share, grotesquely dropped back to 7 furlongs for its latest run on the flat. The balls on this fella. He's run a really eye-catching race, but as the regular readers of the column will find out, there was an even bigger eye-catcher in that race, massively so.
So that's it. Get your 9 quids out then, folks, and find out what that flat horse is. If John likes one a lot, he's usually right a lot more times than he's wrong. So obviously, the front end at the Curragh today was playing a part, obviously, with the tailwinds there, and it was sort of blowing them towards Stan's Rail, which I didn't quite understand why they'd end up there, because I always felt the ground might be a bit better up towards the far side. But
blow Sam James's brains out on Poet Master, didn't it?
Yeah, in the gladness, yeah. I really fancied Poet Masters today.
So did I, until he decided on a speed Joe with Eric and Ira.
Yeah.
600 ways to get your arse out of its comfort zone early on.
I mean, why the fuck would you put him up in a race like that? I mean, that's just mad, isn't it?
It looks like he's part of the crew at Spigot Lodge, doesn't it, now? He's in among it.
He's run it in every start, Chris, bar one.
Well, precisely. I don't know. It just seems a very odd. I know he has. He probably works a horse at home, blah, knows it well. But I mean, fucking hell, he's not the greatest, is he? I don't think. But I think you'd want someone better to ride in those races for you, I think, than him.
I tell you what, though, the way that emptied out, that suggests to me that weren't just down to a speed jewellery.
Yeah. You just thought maybe wind or something, didn't you?
Something cut out badly because it stopped as if shot. And you knew you were beat 2 out.
Yeah.
You hadn't even made it to 2 pole.
No.
So something to the miss there. The reason I like Poet Master, because a tip for punters here, the early 3-year-olds, you shouldn't be backing them against the elders, really. It's a negative AE, and it's a profitable one if you're a layer, taking them on when they take on the elders at this time of year. It makes sense, John, doesn't it? Because the weight for age is a bit skewed towards 3-year-olds later on in the year. I think they've changed it this year, though.
This time of year, it's pretty ridiculous, really. I pointed one out this morning on our chat thread. Johnny, I love this game. Murta was running a straight roll against all the ones, and I said he's throwing their fucking roll back out.
Yeah, it's certainly an angle to look out for at this time of year. And obviously, if you see that happen, if you're not a layer on the machine, I'd certainly give them a swerve and look for something else to back in a race when 3-year-olds are taking on the elders.
Never else to do it before June.
No, it's a suitable race for them to come back in. Suggests that's what Aidan was thinking in terms of where do we start them off? We've got to get them out.
I think they just do it because of piss pots, really, aren't they?
Yeah. So if you're going through the Curragh, I would mark up anything dropped out today and staying on late. Because if you play the wind form, which was prevalent today at the straight tracks and things like that, you should upgrade anything that's been given a little bit too much to do, because wind form does play a big part in front runners and hold up horses, as we'll come on to in a minute at Doncaster. But before that, it's Kempton. The Queen's Prize went to the Kill, and John was loving it because...
Welcome back to flat racing.
The Johnston back to lay system is back again. And knowing John, I ain't asked him what he's done in this, but...
Well, 4 points for now.
I thought you'd do something like that. That's John's system, unless Joe's on it. I think it nerves him up when Joe's on it.
I get a bit shitty about that, but Silbane up to there was like icing.
76-year-old Joe. 77 this year, John. Still going.
Yes.
So the Kilts Brontosaurus get the party off to a start. Obviously, the very disappointing one was Cambu, who was backed as if, well, defeat was out the question all week. Opened up 9-2 with the books. Ended up 2-1 Jolly. It was beaten over 100 lengths. Obviously, something amiss with Richard Hughes's horse.
I think there was a bigger disappointment in the Queen's Prize. That was our mate's horse actually doing a piece of work this morning instead of running in the Queen's Prize, wasn't it?
Yeah, the Lidster thing. Yeah, that one. Again, yeah, join up on Patreon, we'll tell you. I'm plugging this today. Come on, lads, it's flat season. You know we're better than everybody else. 240 was the Rosebery. Tamusius Fox has always had a lot of talent. Very talented horse, always has been. But John, you've noted it and said it's a bit cunty.
Oh, yeah.
I've noted it and said it's a bit cunty. Today, for some unbeknown reason, it looked like a proper racehorse.
I think sometimes when they get a right lock-up ride like that and they can explode on the scene, they get over the cuntiness.
Yeah.
Piggott used to be a master at riding them type of horses like that and keeping them under wraps till it was like 300 yards to go and then just bursting through gaps and things.
Yeah.
They just seem to travel a bit sweeter when they're tucked away, I think.
Just going back to the Queen's Prize, I forgot to mention this note. It was on my notes. They recorded a very, very fast time for a staying event, really fast. Yeah. So what I would suggest is the first 3 home, if they bring them out fairly quickly, I would be against...
Except the Kilts, obviously. Kilts mine through, innit? Really, now forever.
Yeah. So if you see any of these reappear quickly, I'd be against. We come on to the Snowdrop. Soprano wins the races. We were sort of informed from our snouts that Shawari would need the run. That proved accurate. 3-1 chance, well beat in the end after travelling well. Just blew up completely. John, anything from that?
I thought the Gosden House was interesting after the stateside campaign. She'll obviously be aimed at the Sandringham now, and they'll ride her wrong, so she wasn't that interesting because she got no fucking chance at us, got she? So forget that.
Yeah. Yeah, I tell you what I do like, but again, I hate the placing. Everyone's like screaming. The 81 rated Muddy Moy, I've got earmarked for a lovely handicap for her. And that's the reason in our 5 to follow list, we refrain from largely tipping any fillies because obviously trainers now, they just don't do the handicap route anymore. It's straight into pattern class if they win the maiden.
Or if they don't win the maiden.
Yeah, even that.
Example of which is imminent.
Yeah, there was long faces in the conditions race at Kempton where Glittering Surf pipped our what would have been a treble for the Barsters today in Bermuda Longtail. I thought Murphy looked particularly weak on this occasion, and also, John, I think he went too slow. He's a horse that just gallops and lopes along, and that was the reason for the bet stepping up in trip. It was hammered, obviously, into 6-5 fav. No good if you're playing on the shows. But nevertheless, a disappointed end to our afternoon, really.
It was one of them rides where it looked like he'd been dragged away from watching low swimming and he'd had to go out and ride and he'd missed a crucial recipe or something while he was out there.
Saturday Kitchen, something like that, yeah.
Yeah.
That was all shit. Anyway, so that's pretty much Kemp's. And now we come back to proper win form at Doncaster today.
Vintage Donny, wasn't it?
Yeah, this is where Simcox should have had 10 entries.
He didn't have any, did he?
I don't know. He should have scattergunned this meeting and just said, right, I'm going to run out all my best tackle, prime them for this meeting, and drop everything out the back of the telly and make hay.
He could have led the trainer's title tonight, couldn't he?
This is what we said on Barsters all the time, John, isn't it? It's like Simcox would be the number one trainer for me in the land if he was a bit more versatile tactically. There's only times to back Simcox: Yarmouth, Doncaster, Newbury.
Ascot.
Yeah, on the straight course.
Yeah.
Not so much on the round. It depends what pace they go. This is where Simcox just absolutely excels, and it was a shame not to see him mob-handed today, because I can guarantee you John would be chucking lucky 63s about to small stakes if he sees Simcox at Doncaster. So going on to the Brockles, mate, did you see these in the paddock?
I thought it was, given the size of it, I thought it was a plain enough field, to be honest.
Right. Some Brocklesbys you like, don't you? And then others you say, nah, it can't be arsed, yeah.
This was sort of a wallpaper in equine form type Brocklesby.
Yeah.
Really, it was there, but so fucking... Yeah, there was nothing really knocked your eye out. There were some okay sorts with a bit of scope, but overall I wasn't that jazzed about them, to be honest.
The two I'd take out of the race, obviously the winner was Ammo. That'd have been well prepared. I thought he got a perfect ride from Egan, got the cover, just sat behind the pace. The one that they made an error on was the one that they'd had fortunes on. Info Machine was flying from shit shovelers in Newmarket, John, for Karma Chameleon of the Cunha team, and they couldn't get enough on this lot. 11-1 into 9-2 in the end, and it's as if Schumacher being told you can have 3 or 4 grand on this because he rode it like that. He got no cover. He's sending it on. That 2 out. Come on, kick on. And then, of course, into the wind. Just got absolutely blitzed on the wrong part of the track. So for me, that's the main one in the race I think you can take out of it, the Cunha horse. It won't come on for fitness. In essence, it's a lot better than that, if you know what I mean.
It'd probably nip round Catterick next strike or something on it. I'll maybe turn up at the first in a fortnight.
I'd love to back that at a short price against like Northern Rammel. Dylan, if any of you lot listen to this, no fancy entries, no bollocks at HQ. Don't want none of that. Find a fat one of Tim.
Yeah.
Big fat hairy goat.
All of them, isn't it, at the minute?
That's all you got to do. And let us make hay. Chris loves a 5-4 shot that he can just see empty.
Yes. £5 win, max.
Yeah.
Head
You
down.
tell us how you.
Fucking yeah, you think?
No, it's fucking years £5, Chris.
Yeah.
Right. If
absolutely.
Yeah.
That's the Brocklesby. And again, like I've just stressed at the Curragh, anything held upgrade. If you're studying your Doncaster form today, go through the videos. It'll improve your punting and mark off every horse that didn't have cover. And if you like them for future events, it is a valuable tool in terms of how to read form. It's a different angle because it's nothing to do with speed figures. It's nothing to do with form or anything. If you think a horse ran particularly well with no cover, these are horses to be backing going forwards because the market generally is still a bit behind on wind form, I think. The wind form in the Spring Mile, I think we're at the back of the telly in the end, but so there's no real promise there. But the one, the riding error, John, in this was Thick Dave. On Mile, the Steph Hollinshead runner. Poor Steph.
Yeah.
Nice big winner there. And Thick Dave decides he's got his cover. He's done everything right. He's just cruising in behind him. What does he do? Kicks on 2 out.
He just got excited, hasn't he?
He got excited. And I thought, what have you done? Straight away then, I think every running player in the land, you can't get much on these days, but was like screamed with pain when he did that. What are you doing? 2 furlongs into a headwind when you know there's also still with cover that's going to come late at you. And that's exactly how it played out. With the Coiler, unfortunately, getting demoted, John. What do you think to that?
Yeah, well, I mean, it could have gone either way. I'm not surprised, really. It was reversed. But I wouldn't have been that surprised if they left it alone either. Such are the vagaries of our stewarding, really.
I think it's all down to the winning distance these days. They're a bit thick. You could amper summit for 2 furlongs, beat it 3/4 of a length, absolutely put it through a fence,
you keep it.
And you keep it. But if you lose by a short head or a nose...
Yeah, and blow in the rear.
Yeah, and get a couple of bumps that aren't really really.
Yeah.
You get the race. I think they're looking at the stewards' rules, I'll be honest. I agree with you. I think that could have stood another day. Camage, you've always loved Spycatcher, haven't you, as an horse? as a type.
Oh, he's
You've
a
loved him.
grand old lad, yeah. And he got a grand old ride today, really. Daryll kept him in a terrific position, loads of cover. And then once he got him out, I think, really, there was only one winner from just over 2 out, I thought.
Yeah, it was impressive, but obviously got the right ride. But what do you make of Iberian? Do you think it's had enough for Charles Hills?
Haven't we all? It's just absolute shit in a box, isn't it? As soon as it got whiff at the front there, it was all over the place. Berserker.
Yeah.
It's got to be away from him, really. I don't even think I can take any interest in it, to be honest. It just looks a twat.
Yeah. Special mention here, though, for my former trainer here, Perfect Part, the filly. 3-year-old filly. I've just banged on about they can't beat the elders. Eld Ellison's decided to run this 3-year-old against the elders. It's ran an absolute belter, to be fair, and it's got hampered. This could be over bet next time because
I'm sure it will be.
It's had the cover. I'll tell you what, though. You say Fergie's luckiest owner to me all the time. And
Yeah.
he's one of the luckiest owners I know. Keith Brown
He's jelly, right? Yeah.
buys horses. If he pays 10 for one, that's Keith being serious.
I think if he pays 10 for one, it's because he's given wrong limits.
So if you remember Top Notch Tonto for Keith Brown and Brian Ellison, same here. This filly now is going to go up for that. Official rating of 93. You're probably going to add another 7 to that, or 6 or 7.
Black tape, isn't it, now? So,
But beware, people. Remember what I said about the wind? Could be over bet. But having said that, despite the standard of race, the Camage one, the betting, Perfect Part was like hot on the machine, if you know what I mean. A 50 to 1 shot, but it was sort of trading at around 50 and 55 on the machine, close to its.
Brian had said something to ITV team about how well it had been going, apparently. And they gave that out just as they were going in the stalls. And Brian Ellison says, "Way I flying at home, mate."
He's Pakistani, is he? Is he Brian Ellison?
That's too clean for Brian Ellison.
Yeah.
You get on a mobile phone with him in a bad signal area. I understood that perfectly, John. Doncaster Mile, Dancing Gemini, 1 for the Bastards, well bet, 7-2 into 9-4. No flies on us. There was no doubt in this, John. It absolutely hacked up.
Smashed up, didn't it? I think there was quite a lot went wrong for this last year. And you had a couple of hard races. Roger Taylor come on the telly and said the Derby knocked the living shit out of him. Well, not in so many words, obviously.
Yeah.
He could be set for a good season. This race last year, it chucked up that Charing, didn't it? That more or less won everything all through the season. Well, I wouldn't think this one might be quite that good yet. He's showing all the signs of being a progressive horse through the season. You wouldn't really fancy failing against him in a locking juncture now, would you?
No, I agree that there was something different about him in this race. Yes, he got a nice ride. He got the right sort of cover. But at the end of the day, you knew this horse had won probably 2.5 furlongs out, which at that level suggests that this is in rude health. If they're not too ambitious with him and maybe look at abroad, maybe find a cheap Group 1 or a Group 2 elsewhere, I do think they could be in business this year with this chap. He was back to his best there. He showed a terrific burst in final furlong. Plenty to like about that. The Lincoln, the Bastards horse last year, we were tipping up Godwinson all the time. Typical that it comes up and wins the Lincoln from poor Jack, who was in attendance today at the Lincoln. Special mention for Jack. He backed the second at 40s, John, and he was on the floor.
He'd every right to be, hadn't he? I mean, that grew a leg.
Yeah.
Absolutely ridiculous. 99 times out of 100 he doesn't get there. But it's Haggis in Yorkshire, in a Lincoln. What can you do? It just seems to happen, doesn't it?
He's the master. And again, if you want to subscribe to Patreon, just our 5th mention so far on the show. We do a 5 to follow show. And of course, it's littered with Haggis horses, dark Haggis horses for this summer ahead. So
littered with a litany of Haggis horses.
It is. My day tailed off today when I backed the Cursor to win the maiden Falding's horse and Godolphins touched me off. A disgraceful outfit, Godolphins. Fancy doing that to me and ruining my day. But no, on the whole, it was a good start to the flat season, John. I'm excited going forwards, but then you said we're excited, and then it tails off for a bit, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It starts, and then it stops again.
Yeah, it starts, and everybody thinks, oh, great. And they're getting the peppercorn sauce out on the Saturday night, and everybody's happy, and then you get to Monday morning, and it's like the equivalent of a beach party at Folkestone.
Yeah, you mentioned Folkestone. It used to be Folkestone on the Monday.
It is.
Yes.
Donny on the Saturday.
You're getting ahead of yourself, folks, and on the Monday.
Yeah, Guy Howard unleashing some.
Yes, some aeroplane. Yeah.
Yeah, some aeroplane at Folkestone. That was an intriguing meeting. That was.
Yeah, and you used to watch the second string Tony Clark, see all that buried midfield. That'll be for his handicap, wouldn't it? Tony Clark, yeah.
I used to
A.
love that.
Clark, yeah.
Yeah.
And he used to swap them round now and again, once or twice a year, didn't they? He used to swap
yeah.
The try used to be, which I think, yeah.
Even the big yards use that trick. I've seen.
Kevin Bradshaw, John. Kevin Bradshaw used to ride a winner a year, didn't he? Occasionally.
Very.
Do you know, I can remember an old jockey's board at Pontefract in Middle. A. Culhane, K. Bradshaw.
Brian Proctor used to ride one or two a year of Dick Kearns tries, you know.
Tony Kimberley.
Tony Kimberley, yeah. There's another one. Another one for you.
Paul Darcy.
Paul Darcy for Scout.
Oh, yeah.
That were an intriguing one, weren't it? You'd fancy one up at Ripon, and you'd think, oh, I like this one.
I think he won on Soviet Lines first time out.
I think he did. Yeah, he used to get over a few.
20 to 1.
So listen, you youngling trainers that are listening to this and you've come on the scene and you're keen as mustard to train winners, the key has always been to get a good price. Is run two in a race and stick the worst jockey on the best one. Yeah. That's the way forward.
How you do it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Watch them all start doing it now this season. Yeah, everyone's in a tiz. It's like, oh no. According to our listeners, I think they're a disappointing lot, to be honest, because the questions this week...
They're rubbish, shouldn't they?
They want to know about racing sort of personalities on Twitter. We get food questions galore. It's like Saturday Kitchen, John. I think you've caused this with your inspired cooking techniques, and people are intrigued now of what we all eat and shit, and what we do. It's your show.
You should tell them, actually, I unleashed a fried egg this morning with a yellow...
Yeah, we saw that.
What's that all about?
Clever, isn't it?
I know, but what is it? What
is
it?
Yeah.
Have you got a yellow egg?
No, it's actually 2 eggs in one.
Eh?
And what you do, you separate one egg. And the whole egg, you add the white from the separated egg to that, beat that up, and you put that in the pan, let it firm up, and then you put the yolk from the egg that you've separated on top of the yellow nest.
Why would you do that?
Because it looks funky.
Because it looks
funky. Okay. Yeah, you've got far too much time on your hands. Fucking hell.
John has so many techniques. And by the way, most of them are outstanding.
Yes, yeah.
Like, for example, the producer, she was struggling to get her puddings to rise.
Is that a euphemism or something?
Jesus.
Her dad listens to this show. You won't be impressed.
Yes, I know. That's why you edit that bit out,
Nah, she'll leave it in. It's all fun. John's tip for that was just outstanding. And now they're massive fuckers. They're like
Tower Pizza, aren't they?
Yeah. They're fucking tremendous. Just that one thing. That's that one thing.
Yeah, they don't take off.
Okay.
Before we start on the questions, then, I'd just like to say that we always talk about mental health on this show, and it is important. We know a lot of people suffer. Well, apparently, we've got the highest mental health rate in Europe, according to some stats. I found something this week that really helped.
Heroin.
Well, alcohol helps in the end. It beats you, don't it?
Oxycontin, if you smash it up and snort it, it's your real bang. Yeah.
No,
that's our tip for the week.
No, but this is astonishing. I don't know if it's a placebo, and it might be. So I'll ask you your opinion. I've been listening to these meditation alpha waves on YouTube of a certain frequency.
The golden frequency, isn't it? That's
It makes me feel honestly miles better. I'm not kidding.
Does it?
Yeah,
I've tried that. It doesn't make me feel any different. So everybody says, it's tremendous. It can unlock your creativity. I've had absolutely no effect at all.
I'm not saying it'll work for everybody.
No, but it does work for plenty.
I can feel the difference physically when I'm tired and jaded. And I can feel the difference mentally as well. It gets me in a different thought process. And I don't know how it does it. Well, it's working so far.
Well, yeah, absolutely. There is meant to be science behind it. I mean, I don't know what that science is because I forget most things instantly after reading them. But there is some science behind it. And there is, a lot of anecdotal evidence to suggest that people are, benefiting massively. I've tried it. But I think I'm one of these people that try something for a bit and then fucks it off. And I think you've got to persist with it. I think you've got to pick something and follow the program. You've got to have an almost religious faith in a lot of these things. And I try and go, it didn't work. Because I just want a quick fix, you see, short price fab. I want it to happen now, not next week. I want it now. So I'm probably not the right person.
I know. It's the adrenaline.
Yeah.
But the thing is, the way it works for me, and I'll tell you how I do it, I really focus hard on it. It's like that White Men Can't Jump film.
Yes.
You listen to Jimmy. You can't hear Jimmy. I really focus on...
Immerse yourself in it. That you have to immerse yourself in it and really focus on every nuance, every sound, and feel and give the illusion or the sense that it's permeating you and making changes.
Yeah.
And I think you really there's almost a religious component. You have to believe. If you sit there and just listen to it, you go, "Oh, that's crap." But I think you've got to immerse yourself in it. And I think that's the right approach. If that works for you, then you got to carry on with it.
We watch the House of Games. We like the House of Games. Don't know if anyone else does.
Yeah.
On Daily Quiz Show on BBC Two.
Yes.
There was a question that was rather intriguing. So it says, what would make your wrist fitter without exercise?
Wanking.
Listen, apparently if you think about exercise and think about that you're going to exercise at your wrist and absolutely focus on it, it will improve the fitness of your wrist.
There are studies that do show, I mean, how robust they are is exactly that. They had one group would train all day, every day, and another group of similar physiognomy and similar levels of fitness would train less, but spend more time focusing on, imagining themselves in that fitter place. And the difference at the end of it was near as damn it. There was a fag paper between them, which shows that, as we all know, that the mind plays has an enormous effect on all aspects of our life. And, and I was looking at something the other day where there's a book, I forget what it's called now because I can't remember. We could put it in the notes maybe. It basically says that, that decision-making and free will are largely an illusion, and that it is very easy for your brain to be tricked by bad faith actors, i.e. advertisers, into taking decisions which you consciously believe are, of your own free will, where you've weighed it up, but actually you've been led down the garden path. And apparently there are parts of the brain that are very, very susceptible to it. So, it's a fascinating subject. It really is.
I wish I'd known about this like 40 years ago when I was 18. I could have spent the last 40 years really focusing and got me dick size up to the national average.
Well, I mean, they say, it's what Dale Carnegie and Napoleon Hill and all these books, you become what you imagine, what you think about. Well, I've been thinking about Margot Robbie for fucking years, but she never turned up at my house. So I think it's a load of bollocks, to be honest with you.
Yes and no. Right.
Where's Margot Robbie? If you're listening, we're here.
Royal Ascot at York, 2007, John, am I correct?
Roundabout.
I met an interesting guy.
Kevin Booth.
I was going through a bit of a bad spell at the time. So I had a really good, I don't know who he was. He's quite a young chap, probably slightly younger than me at the time. He said to me, it's got to be realistic. We're not going to fucking go to Necker Island and take over Richard Branson. We're not going to do that. But what I'm trying to say is if you envisage something and it's within your capabilities, as in, what everyone's capabilities are, right? And it's within your range.
It's manifesting, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's kind of what it is. Yeah.
If you envisage it, you will get it. That's the thinking. You have to envisage, this is what I want to be. This is what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
Like, if you're capable enough, it will come.
You're right, Lee. Exactly that. So it's about goal setting, isn't it? And the idea is, if you imagine it and articulate it, you are more likely to take actions for that to happen. Obviously, thinking about it all day is not going to make any difference. But if you take those steps, it's much more likely to happen. So and there's a huge body of evidence and stuff supporting that. So I agree with that. I agree with that a great deal.
Anyway, that worked for me this week. It might work for you if you haven't tried it. Give it a try. Give it a whirl. I'm just impressed how I managed to, and the producer will attest to this, in a not a very good place earlier this week, into a rather good place this week. Chris will just say it's the winners today. But no.
She's drugging your she's drugging your Horlicks. That's all she's doing, mate.
Yeah.
She's drugging your Horlicks.
Possibly. Yeah, she's got her ways. No. Good, all good stuff. So hopefully that helps one or two of you. If it's something you haven't tried, give it a try. Focus on these sound waves that sort of immerse your brain in a dark room. And, right, onwards and upwards to the questions. Nick Davis is first in this week. Good old Nick, fixed it for the all-weather finals, week before Lincoln, sorted. John, the calendar, because of the late Easter, it's fucked with your brain, hasn't it?
My feng shui's all to hell. I keep moving the settee trying to get straightened out. I just can't handle it. I'm opening one window, closing another. I don't know where I am half the time.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable. I think the thing is, they fucked about with the wrong end of the season. I mean, they made a right harlots of the back end, where we've now got a Dewhurst and a Middle Park on the same day, and blah, blah, blah. It's a load of cock.
Yeah.
And yet, we have a flat season that starts without fanfare whatsoever.
Yeah. Isn't that disappointing? That's so disappointing.
I mean, we have this today, and then it's a build-up to the bloody stupid sodding obstacle race at Merseyside.
The one you took part in on Sports Day.
Yeah.
Where all the fat uns got stuck trying to crawl through benches.
Oh, God, yeah.
I've seen that many a time. Either girls or lads with massive asses, and you had to crawl under this trestle bench, whatever they used to have at schools. And
I was joking. You're giving them a crack while I was stuck in there.
It was best entertainment ever. I was crying, like laughing. I always
all the fat lads walking around with trestle benches, wearing them like fucking belts.
Yeah, but Nick, it's one of them, isn't it? It's just a random year. It's just messed with everyone. I agree they're on timing. All weather finals should be done before turf starts. That's the idea of having a turf season, isn't it?
You know what you could do? I don't know whether this would work, but you could do this, I think. You've got the National on the Saturday. Why not have the Lincoln on the Sunday?
Yeah.
And call it like changeover weekend or something.
Do you know what you could do as well? Like, again, this could be genius. I've just had a brainwave. You've got the National Saturday, the Lincoln Sunday, and they're always massive fields, right? Yeah. So you have a big either pool or whatever. He says, right, pick 6 horses in Lincoln, 6 horses in National. If you get the first 3 in each race, that's the dividend.
Yeah, £1 million.
It's a pull bet. It's a dividend. What a great pull bet that'd be.
Fantastic.
It's excitement. Yeah. There's no point being innovating in this era, is there?
The most innovation they want is you rolling up with a wagon selling jam, sponge and custard.
No.
That's good, that. I'm all in favour of that.
I am as well.
You love that.
Oh, I love it. I love a bit of jam, sponge.
A bit of comfort food.
If you ever come 100%. To stay with me, Chris, I'd know exactly what to put up menu for you.
Full dinner menu. That's all you get. Pink cake with custard. That'll do me.
In John's questions thread today, he said Neil Callan, telling it like it is. John, what's gone off with Neil Callan?
Neil Callan told it like it was, and he's got a suspended sentence.
Yeah, it's like real life, really, isn't it? You know,
it's hilarious. Yeah.
What did he say? Just for people that don't know.
He had a proper steward of the day, Tony McGlone, apparently got a rate courting. Callan's been asked to go in for a chat, and I think did they give him 18 months suspended or something?
No, 12 months suspended.
Yeah. Inappropriate use of social media.
Yeah, the producer read it out to me.
It's unbelievable.
She didn't get to the suspended bit, and I thought, what? They've banned him for how many months? It's like, oh no, it's suspended. I thought, oh geez, even still, that's silencing people. That's Russia, Chris.
Starmer's Britain, isn't it?
Oh, it is.
That's what it is.
That's like the biggest ban ever, isn't it? Apart from like getting warned off completely. Yeah. I don't think anybody's had a ban as big as that. Just for mouthing off on Twitter.
Neil, if you're close to retiring or anything like that, then I suggest carry on. It's funny.
And come on the podcast and reiterate what you said.
Always welcome on here, Neil Callan, if you've got forthright views on how British racing is run. Though, like I said, we're fair. The BHA recently have done some good things, and I'm trying to be fair, like throughout the spring on this in the initiatives that they're doing. So,
well, they've got an open invitation to come on, haven't they?
They have, and they've obviously turned that down.
No pink cake and custard.
No, well, that's it.
Yeah, no.
You see, that's the mistake in Holborn. It'll be sushi and fucking shit like that, won't it?
Yeah.
You need pink custard. Chocolate cake and pink custard.
With a massive fucking skin on the top as well. A quarter-inch thick. Yeah.
Delicious.
Yeah. That's where they're going wrong down Holborn. It's lesser Eckies and it's better.
I mean, listen, I have my tea with evaporated milk.
Perfect.
Oh no,
Is that a thing or not?
no,
It's
I can't we do that.
It's phenomenal.
No, we have
phenomenal.
full fat
No,
milk.
get evaporated milk out of a tin, elevates it. Honestly.
What about condensed in coffee?
Yeah, do that.
I've seen
yeah.
people do that.
All
Yeah,
that.
Yeah, that
Well,
works.
I'm telling you, it's different gear.
yeah.
I have to use coffee, mate, because I like it scalding hot. I like it damaging my pipes as it goes down.
When I used to manage betting shops, this woman used to have coffee, mate, and I had to have it because that's what she had. And it were nice, but it were about 1,400 calories a cup.
I have to have five spoonfuls in.
Oh no, it's bad for you. That fucking hell. It was nice. Don't get me wrong, it's nice, but when I read how much calories you're having per cup, and she'd done me about 4 in an afternoon.
I'm like a council house version of Winston Wolfe from Pulp Fiction. I have, instead of lots of cream, lots of sugar, I have 5 coffee, mate, and 9 Sweetex tablets.
Jesus, and your monsters.
Oh yeah, the Monster Energy drinks as well, which
Yeah.
I've also brought in the Boost range of energy drinks as well now, which I'm rather like.
Boost. I think
Yeah.
Chris would be more of a Cadbury's Boost person.
Yeah.
Yeah, Cadbury's Boost, delicious. But the monsters are quite nice. The Punch range is very good. I quite like those tastes. They're
Oh,
really
delicious!
nice.
Yeah,
Yeah. Mhm.
very quency, aren't they?
I'm into the Lucasades at the minute, but I want to know.
Because you're an invalid, bedridden invalid.
I am. Right. And the thing is, why did Lucasade in the old days? Why were they wrapped in cellophane packaging?
No idea. One of life's great mysteries. But that was a sort of it was a drink there to aid recovery, wasn't it? Ill people were given it. I
Ill
don't
and
know
elderly
why.
people that were ready to
Yeah,
carpet.
exactly. Yeah.
It was that big glucose hit gave you that appetite, didn't it?
Yeah.
That is true, actually. That was the basis of it, as I recall. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Lucasade. Good God.
I used to lick the packet because it always used to have stickiness from the glucose.
Yeah.
Okay. You've broken the first rule of the playground, which is never say anything unless you're sure everyone agrees with you.
Yeah, I know.
You're falling in a hole there. Everyone's going, what?
Yeah, I've gone on it. I've gone. It's like a sinkhole
Yeah,
there,
you
and
have.
it's straight down it. Bang.
Yeah, you've gone down. Yeah, down the
Beat
rabbit
there.
hole.
Questions time. Well, I mean, we've got to do your questions because this is what you make the show. I don't know if you've made the show this week, but
Increasingly lackluster, I think. So we need better.
no racing. It's a racing podcast. You're going to laugh here what we're talking about. We're going to start on the Daryll Carter. It's not news to us.
Careful.
We're not that bothered. So Carter has left Betfair. We've had several questions. PJ Butler, what's the story behind Betfair sacking Carter? Have they sacked him? I don't know. What's Daryll Carter been up to? Says John, no, not our John. I don't know, like maybe shout out your window like Rocky did in Rocky 2. Yo! Daryll.
I think lots of people have made some suggestions as to the basis of his departure from Betfair, but because we are mindful of libel lawyers, it would ill behove us to repeat those rumours, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. You're our legal beagle.
Unqualified struck off lawyer.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's me. Yeah, struck off there. I wish I was, yeah.
Like a struck off lawyer's not
No.
totally.
I'm not struck off. I didn't even enter the solicitor's role, you see, so I have no legal knowledge. I'm the bloke down the pub who knows a bit about law, which is the most dangerous thing in the world, to know a little bit about something. And I'm the living, walking example of that.
I believe you, many wouldn't. Comrade Loafy Monolulu says, first Tony Calvin, now Daryll Carter. What are the reasons behind Barrio's Betfair Bermuda Triangle differences? Luke Tucker, I tell you, it's just endless on Daryll Carter. It must be popular. Is it beneficial for a corporate bookmaker to employ a tipster who's winning and making a profit with his selections? R.E. Carter.
Is he making a profit?
Yeah, obviously not like us. I mean, he's well short of what we do.
That's the 7th mention now. 7 mentions. Get your money out.
So if you want to join Patreon...
Come on.
You're not going to lose money with us. You're not. You can never make a guarantee, but over time, if you lose money with us, then there won't be a podcast because I won't be here. I'm on the streets. Is that I have to make money? If I don't, then I'm done. I'm finished. It's over.
Yeah.
It's all.
Come on, get your money out.
Well, I'll make some comments on Daryll. He's a 3-time award-winning podcaster, which makes him not totally shit. In fact, makes him good to soft. He's like nearly good for winning 3.
Yeah.
We've won 1. We don't want any more, but because then you become good, don't you? I don't want to become good. It's not the channel's operandi. But no, so some comments on Daryll. Obviously, he's worked for Betfair. He used to do track work, I believe, in boxers tipping. I don't see anything wrong with his website because he says he's a professional tipster, which he is.
Yep.
It's a full-time job.
Yes.
If Daryl listens to this, and he might do because I'll sort of mention it in the Twitter post, if I can give you some advice, Daryl, I've been in the tipping industry for 24 years. It's enlightening. Obviously, I've no idea on your salary at Betfair or anything, or what they were doing or anything like that. But the one thing it is, even on a bad week, it's guaranteed. The problem with branching out on your own is when you hit the inevitable bad run, I can guarantee you a big membership loss. It's how it works. It's like TripAdvisor in a restaurant. When you were tipping and you have a really bad week, so you could have like 7 wipeouts at like relatively short prices, not monster prices, you can lose 20% of your membership just like that. Bang, gone. Then if that's used to pay your bills, then you feel it more because obviously you're not feeling it for Betfair because you don't really care. Because it's like, well, I still get paid, so who cares? And that's the extra pressure. So what I would advise is, if you're going to do this, I'd probably take up other roles. You probably will. Do something that's going to top up that income from subscribers, etc., etc. So this is just advice from someone that's done it for a long time. And it's really hard. Honestly, mentally, it's a lot harder. Let's say a bookmaker approached me after Barstew's finished or whatever and said, right, will you take 50 grand a year, do a pod a week and do a column every day, tip every day? I'd probably accept. I wouldn't be feeling it. I wouldn't be like mega motivated. I'd make money, but it's one of those. That's not the problem, is it? They're happy as long as you're giving the content out and you're making it interesting for listeners or whatever. Daryl's entered a different arena now. Once you do it on your own, the pressure intensifies threefold. So how will he cope with that? Interesting times and an interesting decision.
I've just realised, like, 24 years in the tipping game, you've been at it as long as that smoky bloke lived next door to Alice.
Yes, that's right. Living next door to Keys.
Yeah, I'd say there's not many with more experience because most of them are either dead or
shot themselves. Yeah. Yes.
It credits you professionally just by staying alive.
Yeah.
Well, that's it. Yeah. Don't know how much longer, but we're still going.
In above ground, yeah.
We move on from Daryl Carter. Daryl Carter, by the way, we're not here on a podcast to give you grief or shit. You do brilliant, fantastic. Why would you not? I hope you've made the right decision, but it is going to be very tough. I'll say that. Ice Cold Cube, the early morning motivational, inspiring tweet Lee posted on 25th of March shows he's wasted being cynical and horrible like the rest of us on here. Bless him. He's clearly found a new path. We'll miss him. John Chris, where could your futures be given a similar Damascus? I love that.
Well, we're all in the gutter, but some of us are looking at the stars. I think that's the best way to sum that up.
Yeah.
I don't think it'll be much, I think, yeah. I think, the thing about motivational comments, etc., they only have any value if you keep repeating them and keep living by them. But, most people read them and go, oh, that's good. It's like this fridge magnet philosophy, these live, laugh, love shit you see on people's fridges. It has no lasting effect. The only way to make change is to get off your ass and do it. You can't kind of mottoize your way to success. You just got to graft at it, haven't you? And hope for the best.
Yeah. John?
I think if I had a Damascene conversion, I'd probably grab a few belongings out the flat, get myself a mobility scooter, and walk the earth like a partially handicapped kung fu looking for adventures.
Yeah, and then die in a wardrobe from an act of auto-asphyxiation following a sex act gone wrong.
Always.
Just like the real David Callan.
Always, yeah. That's a gimme.
Yeah, quite right. With an orange in your mouth.
Yeah.
Fucking pair of suspenders. Yeah, lovely.
Right, now we're coming on to some food questions because...
Well, we just had it, an orange in his mouth.
We're not Saturday kitchen, we're now Sunday kitchen, clearly. Jeff Lynch, any funny stories where you've took one of your speed dating ladies to the races on a date? What speed dating?
Again, it's a prostitute.
Yeah, I responded to this on Twitter. Wow, because I thought he actually meant prostitutes.
Yeah, I think that's what he does mean. Yeah, that's what he means. Sex workers. Yeah, that's what he means.
That is a speed date, isn't it? Really?
Yeah.
No, it's sort of he's being coy, isn't he? Yeah. He's sort of wrapping it up in a veneer of coyness. But yeah, he thinks we use sex workers. That's what he's implying. And I, for one, am deeply offended. So fucking do better.
To be honest,
Come on.
I'm Mr. Long relationship guy. I've had two
Yeah,
long
man, oh,
marriages. There's some with one marriage, but I've had.
You're still married to both of them, aren't you, really? to be
Yeah,
fair? I
I'm
mean,
one of them. What do you word for that?
bigamy.
Bigamy, that's
Or
it.
being a Mormon.
Yeah,
Yeah,
bigamy.
Latter-day Saint. Same.
There's a lot up to that, isn't there? Your double lives and things like that.
Fucking, you don't want that. Imagine 8 wives. Fucking hell.
That-
Come
well,
on.
that-
I think those people get all my admiration. Any fella that can deal with 8 fucking women, and oh my God, well done. Honestly, well done. I listen to you, pussy oak, only because the producer's sitting there glaring at you, I bet you, with her inflated puddings on display.
She's done it about 2 or 3 times tonight, I can tell you, honestly. There's been 2 or 3 glares from the corner.
Yeah,
It's
glare,
getting-
hard, one of Paddington's hard stares.
I can feel it. You know,
Yeah.
you're with somebody a long
Laser
time,
beam,
and you can
yes.
actually feel it without, like, looking at them.
Yeah.
It's that. This is a great name for it. Ronnie Omelette, breakfast cereal
Yeah.
disasters. Omelettes. No.
Breakfast cereal disaster? No, surely not.
Breakfast cereal disasters.
There's only one
We're
breakfast.
better than this.
There's only one breakfast cereal disaster, and that is Special K.
Oh,
That's horrible.
That's
oh my
fucking
God.
rubbish.
It's like hard skin, isn't it?
I know
Oh,
that,
don't you
so
think?
is
Oh,
it?
it's horrible.
if anybody listening to this has had Special K and liked
And like,
Oh. Oh.
I need you to get in touch with us.
It's like Rivita, isn't it? Who eats Rivita?
Oh, that was like fucking cardboard.
if
It
anybody
is, yeah.
come
Yeah.
on here and eat a full box of Special K, they can have a mug.
You win a mug.
Yeah.
You can have a mug. I was going to say that. You win a mug, yeah. Because that stuff is horrible.
If you eat a full box of Special K and Rivita and video it, right, I'll give you
Yeah.
an £150 free bet and a mug.
Yeah.
How's about that?
Yeah.
There
I
you
want to see
go.
a video that you got to eat a box of Rivita and a box of Special K in one sitting.
Yeah, they'll deep fake it. They'll have like 150 quid off you. Yeah.
The Bar Stewards £150 challenge.
Yeah.
Do that.
They'll have you over. They'll be on ChatGPT, make me a video of me eating a box of Special K for, 45 minutes just to get 150 quid off you. These are the sort of people we're dealing with, honestly.
We're naive now. We've become naive.
Yeah, we've been had over.
Yeah,
We're
yeah,
like jackals, they are circling us.
15 minutes flat, I'd say, for the challenge.
Okay, yeah. It's horrible.
Len's been on. I like Len. I've got a lot of time for
Yes.
Len. He goes, when the dark days set in and you've done your bollocks, what's the best microwave cheap meal you make? Chris, I'm coming to you first.
Microwave,
Yeah.
Rustler's hamburgers, right?
Yeah.
They have zero nutritional value,
Yeah.
but like 2 minutes for a quarter pounder, you get that horrible piece of American burger cheese, which you can't actually microwave because it goes to like napalm. Stick that on, and that is an instant mood lifter, I think. $1.99 for 2.
Do you know what mine used to be?
Go on.
And now they've gone really shit. And I mean shitter than shit. 'Cause
Go on.
Finder's crispy pancake.
Yes, they're horrible now, aren't
They
they?
used to be
What have they done?
phenomenal. As a kid, I can remember like putting them in after school and that, and it's like, oh yeah,
Yeah.
a bit of minced beef in there or whatever. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Not now.
I got the producers to get me some ages ago, and I said, "Oh, just see what they're like now. They're absolutely fucking dreadful."
Yeah.
So I can't even say that now. John, what's yours?
Rice pudding.
Oh, amen to that. Do
That's-
you have a bit of jam in it, do you? Do you have
Yeah,
jam in
yeah,
it?
yeah.
Yeah, you got to. Beautiful. Yeah, I agree with that.
John's
Yeah.
not daft on all this shit. He beats us all the time on food, really.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
It's out of our depth here, but yeah.
He adds another question on. And when you add it right off, what's the meal for complete self-indulgence celebration, either from a restaurant or a home-cooked starter, main, and dessert? Chris,
I've never had it off, so I don't know. So I wouldn't know. But imagine if I did. Yeah, go on. So what's my?
so starter, main, and dessert. It's now time.
I'm not a great starter fan at all. Whether I go to a restaurant or not, I tend to just focus on the main and the pudding. But
No pay.
I do, but I mean, it's not really a starter, is it? It's more sort of a Sunday tea time thing. Whilst you're watching fucking That's Life and
Highway.
then go to bed and school in the morning after That's Life. Remember, it used to be at 9 o'clock, didn't it? That's Life. And when that finished, you knew it was time for bed for school. But yeah, I like a bit of steak. That's my favourite meal. Pretty unimaginative. But pudding-wise, John, do you remember, right? Not that I enjoy it, a thing that people used to eat in the 70s and 80s, which was like a pink pudding called a junket. Do you remember that?
God, yeah.
God, it just came into my mind. I thought my aunt used to have a junket every day, and I've never met anybody that knows what it is or has had one since. And I thought, I'll ask you tonight. A junket. It was a pink kind of jelly thing.
Basically, I think it was jelly, but instead of water, they applied evaporated milk.
That's That's it.
Bloody hell.
Yeah, to junk it.
Yeah.
It just came to my mind.
Yeah.
I've asked quite a few people. Said, "Do you junk it?" I went, "Well, what do you mean by that?" And it was a pink kind of, it was like a jelly. And she used to have a
Yeah.
little bowl and she'd junk it.
And
yeah.
you know that
Wow.
that particular thing makes the finest rhubarb mousse you will ever taste.
Really, I love rhubarb.
Well, if you
God, I love
stew some
rhubarb, yeah.
rhubarb and
Yeah.
chuck a jelly in, raspberry jelly, and then
Right.
a tin of carnation and let it
Yes.
set, you will absolutely crack one off
I
over it.
love I'm sure that give that salty finish, like
Yeah,
fucking, yeah, lovely. Yeah, okay, I'll give that a spin because I love mousses as well.
Right. My starter would be, I'm just one of these really old-fashioned, like old people. Prawn cocktail for start. Main
yeah.
course would be pork belly with some like handmade mashed potatoes.
Yeah.
Just a traditionalist there. And dessert would be, I'm with Chris on this, most sponge puddings and
Yeah.
custard. I don't
Yeah, you
think,
can't go wrong.
no, it's really old-fashioned. John, what about you?
Oysters, followed by
Oh, listen to him, champagne social.
He is.
followed by lamb rump with ravioli potatoes, mint jelly, and
Lovely.
the finisher offer would be white chocolate cheesecake.
Look at that.
Ah, yes, white chocolate's fabulous. I think absolutely fabulous.
Some of you now are salivating at these choices. I know you are. I just know you are, making you hungry if you hadn't ate. Good stuff, this, lads. I like it. Final question to finish the show, and it's been very fun to do this one. As always, Chris and John make it absolutely fabulous in terms of chemistry and camaraderie between the three of us. We hate each other off scene, but on scene, we're not too bad.
Yeah, we're just actors. We're just going to get our equity card.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
We're just playing roles. We're all very posh in real
We're
life.
have to talk for an hour a week.
We went to RADA, for fuck's sake.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Bert Doncaster. I think Bert Doncaster gets the thing of the week here.
Yep.
It was really good, this one. As a partially deaf listener
Oh.
who uses speech to text, it always raises a chuckle when Jonas Leng is translated as Janice Long. Made me wonder, what would the bar stewards' DJ names be? I'll start us off. In a way,
What the fuck?
if I were a DJing, that appeals.
What, you mean hospital radio DJ or dance hall?
Hospital radio. I'd call myself Bob Blast.
Oh, Bob Blast, yeah. That's good, that.
It's catchy, and Bob Blast. John, you must have a cracking DJ name somewhere along the line.
Spin Master Suppository.
What the fuck?
Fucking Jesus.
Why not?
Oh, God almighty.
It's marginally better than Janice Long.
Well, only just.
But you're amusing Bert here anyway. He has the thing on, the translator, which, to be fair, and Chris will attest to this, most northern folk need translating, don't they, Chris?
Of course they do. We can hardly understand what you people say. It's like a series of grunts and whistles. I'm putting it through AI just to try and keep up.
Yeah.
I have no idea what you say. My DJ name will be Jimmy Savile.
How sweet.
Yeah.
Oh, good God.
Yeah.
I think that wraps it up. Honestly, it was a fun show to do. Seriously, you guys, although the questions were a little bit low bar this week, we do appreciate them, and we've certainly had a lot of fun.
No, we don't. When we come off recording, we slagging them off, going, well, that was a fucking pile of old wank. How long can we keep this shit going for? Which is what we normally say.
As well summed up by Chris there. We hope you enjoyed the show nevertheless, and we are back next week, same time, same place. That's all from us. Bye for now.